Transformation in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, everybody. Heather Stargazer here to do reading for the collective for whoever, whenever, wherever. Hi, gazers. How are you guys doing? If you're new here, welcome in. Glad to have you. We're going to start with a rune. We're going to pull a rune. Ancestors, spirits, guys, what messages do you have for the collective today? Ooh, we get Lauges, Flow, and Rado, Journey. Ooh, there's like this water, like maybe you're going to a journey to be by the water, right? But it's this idea of like going with the flow. Here's Language. Look at how beautiful that is. And then here is Rado. Rado is the journey. They're the letters L and R, maybe. Let's see here. We'll do Language first. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. We have the window open here. And I realize the outside of my windows need to be washed. I just saw it 111, but it's cold here. So we're just letting the sun shine in. Language, flow, water, that which conducts. Unseen powers are active here, creative and fertile powers of nature. The attributes of this rune are water, fluidity, the ebb and flow of tides and emotions, of careers and relationships. Language fulfills our need to immerse ourselves in the experience of living without having to evaluate or understand. It speaks to the desire for comfort and the satisfaction of emotional needs, to the lunar side of our nature. For while the sun strives for differentiation, the moon draws us towards unity and merging. This rune often signifies a time of cleansing, for reevaluating, reorganizing, realigning. A rune of deep knowing, Language may call you to study spiritual matters and readiness for self-transformation. Success now lies in contacting your intuitive knowing, in attuning to your own rhythms. A rune of the self relating rightly to the self, Language signifies what alchemists call the conjunctio, or the sacred marriage. In fairy tales, it's the end where the hero and the heroine live happily ever after. So going with the flow and that which conducts, right? The emotional side, the lunar side of our nature, right? I'm hearing that which happens in the darkness. So the internal self, that which maybe is shut away or secret or hidden from others, but it's that merging of the internal self, the higher knowing, right? With the conscious self, that sacred marriage of that, and then aligning that with the actions that we take and how we flow through. And we're getting there, right? Rado, number 20. Ooh, and they're so close too. What's in between them? Just wondering, right? The 18 is Language, and the 19 is the Helgas and the disruptive force. I think that we're bypassing that disruptive force by going with the flow, right? That's like, yes, I'm feeling yes, confirmation. This rune is concerned with communication, with the attunement of something that has two sides. Two elements, and with the ultimate reunion that comes at the end of a journey, when what is above and what is below are united and of one mind. The journey is of the soul's journey. Moreover, the approach of that which is above and that which is below is realized from an inmost sentiment rather than through force of circumstance. Yes. A simple prayer for the soul's journey is, I will to will thy will. Such a prayer of intention is proper on almost any occasion, and it is particularly suitable to the preamble healing. Rado is another of the runes of the cycle of self-transformation. Inner worth mounts here, and at such a time we must remember that we are not intended to rely entirely upon our own power, but rather to ask what constitutes right action. Ask through prayer, through addressing your own knowing, your body knowing, the witness self, the teacher within. Once you are clear, you can neutralize your refusal to let right action flow through you. Wow. Not intent on movement, but be content to wait. And while you wait, keep on removing resistance. As the obstructions give way, all remorse arising from trying to make it happen disappears. As always, the journey is towards self-healing, self-change, and union. You are concerned here with nothing less than unobstructed perfect union. But the union of heaven and earth cannot be forced. Keep within your limits. Regulate any excesses in your life. Material advantages must not weigh heavily on this journey of the self toward the self. Trust your own process. That is the essence of this rune. Keep on cutting away illusions. Stand apart even from like-minded others. The notion of strength in numbers does not apply at this time, for this part of the journey cannot be shared. Innermost feeling, spontaneously expressed, is what's called for now. Rado urges you to undertake your journey, your quest, and if you have already begun, to continue. Again, that sacred flowing, that removing the resistance through allowing things to flow, timely action, I will to will thy will, right? Because we know that when resistance, it's a common phrase, 555. It's a common phrase amongst tarot readers and spiritual people, like they say that resist persists, and it does persist, but there's also the scientific phrase of, resistance meets force. Right? Like the action and force, how much we're butting up against something and how much that thing is going to butt up against us. And by allowing that flow through the right actions, through taking that time out, and we've talked about taking that time out and communing with the self, right? In the past few days, that's that internal conversation that we've been having, and it allows all of those messages to be conducted through us, right? Through all of our senses, our internal senses and our sensory perceptions, right? And then that way we don't resist every little thing. The flow can come through, and when there is an ebb, we understand that that's timely, that's for the good of the thing. Sometimes it's in our best interest to wait or to hold up or to not take action, right? And at other times it's in our best interest to act, to move forward, to go with the flow and let the tides come in and then roll with those. So life is about balance, right? And it's knowing when to and when not to. And this is a point in our lives where, in your life, right? But I say ours because, like, astrologically, this is what is being demanded of us all collectively and as individuals. And if we take the time to do it within ourselves, the collective is doing that, right? That's what this is saying. This is about, like, each of us doing our part to grow and to heal and to change the processes by which we conduct ourselves. Right. Ooh. Let's get some tarot. I have the Van Gogh. The Tarot of Van Gogh or something. I don't know. Van Gogh did not make a tarot deck. This is a tarot deck that was made in the style of his paintings. Includes some elements. All right, ancestors, spirits, guides. That's an interesting character in history too, isn't he? Like, famous posthumously, like not during his lifetime. During his lifetime, he was looked upon as, like, like maybe problematic, a crackpot, somebody who had mental illness. But now we cherish his work, and we can see what he was trying to say, and we can empathize with his plight and feel empathy for him, right? And feel those feelings that he was feeling via his paintings and things. So look at that star on the bottom. How beautiful is that? Ace of Cups. How beautiful is that? That he let the healing, I heard, let the healing begin. Well, I believe it already has begun, but I think that it's really, now starting to, we're starting to feel it. Right? When you get the cut and it starts to itch, you know that it's healing, but that's uncomfortable too, right? It's a different uncomfortable sensation. But then after a while, when it heals and you can move about freely again, you're like, this is where the healing is, right? It's like those first steps in physical therapy. It's like those first steps in any kind of therapy. All right, ancestors, spirits, guides, what messages do you have for the collective today? Seven of Swords coming out right off rip. The Tower. Ooh, right at 9:33. Damn, we get the Devil, the Eight of Pentacles. We're going to get a few more. Page of Wands. You're hearing some news. Three of Pentacles could have to do with work. Queen of Wands on the bottom. And again, that magnetic attractive force, right? That confidence of self and that internal self, right? It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. This is talking about the internal confidence that you gained from assessing how far you've come. Right. Action. There could have been something that was somebody lied about or stole from you, right? Take it how it resonates. 7 of Swords over the 8 of Pentacles. We'll get clarifiers on all of this, right? But this talks about like a progression because it's 7 into the 8, right? 7 of Swords. That's the lying, cheating, stealing card. That's somebody sneaking into the camp and disarming the enemy so that the war can't happen. And while that's good for everybody involved who didn't have to engage in the conflict, it's also very sneaky and insidious, right? And so when it happens in, say, a workspace or something that we've been working on, whereas somebody's shedding a bad light on the things that we're doing in a nefarious way to keep us from being able to be competitive or from keeping us from being able to be prosperous, right? There's a problem there. And this is shocking. There might be some news that's coming out today, whenever you're watching this. And I'm hearing in a timely fashion. So divine timing here. The Tower and the Page of Wands, right? Shocking news. Shocking news that's being traveled and shared, right? Right at 11:11. So it's important that this is revealed. I heard revealed. And this tower is built on false grounds, right? It's meant to entrap the people who are above it. It's meant to give a false perception of being above 1133, of being above others, right? And it's interesting in contrast to this sunflower, which is the sacred flower of the Queen of Wands, right? Queen of Wands energy. And it follows the sun and it grows this way. This is the natural likeness of the surveillance, right? This is like beautifully observing the things that are going on around you in the world and following the light, right? The Page of Wands is enthusiastic. The Page of Wands is excited. And the Page of Wands sees something, right? Something eye-catching and kind of goes after it. It's very exciting and it's news coming through this. But hey, do you see that? Do you see that? That kind of energy, right? About something shocking, this tower coming down, right? Something that kind of uproots the foundations of maybe what was thought and then puts the things right back down on the ground where everything is level, right? And then the things that are meant to grow in their natural form, a level above the other things, can naturally progress and see and bloom. Wow. Because you get the Devil here. The Devil is yes, it's Capricornian energy, which is cardinal earth, right? So it has this it's very difficult to move. It's very stubborn energy. It talks about, and I'm not talking about Capricorns now, Saturnian talks about the restrictive force, right? The restrictive nature. It's a controlling aspect, right? And to a point where it's toxic. Right. So there is something, maybe it could be anything toxic, it looks like it could be a bad contract, right? Especially since it's above the 3 of Pentacles here, about the work that's being done, or codependency, or lies, or something not good. Maybe somebody's addicted to work. I see 333. Right? Maybe someone's leading the team in a wrong direction, right? Or maybe taking advantage of their power over this group of people, over this group. And it's like it's interesting because the top row is the 7 of Swords, the Tower, and the Devil. That looks like nasty, 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 doesn't it? Well, the bottom is the 8 of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, and the 3 of Pentacles. And look how beautiful that is. So it's like there's this loomingness over things because of this rotten energy. And today you are finding the confidence to stand firm in your power. You're standing up for yourself, right? Knight of Swords underneath that, 6 of Pentacles underneath that. Absolutely. Really revealing what's being seen here. The tower comes down and people can start to see where those things are. Let's get some clarifiers. Granny's postcards. Some of these are a little bit interesting. Some of them are a little bit funny and some are a little bit crass. So we'll just be careful which ones on. I'll keep an eye on them so we can, YouTube. Our ancestors, spirits, guides. Tell us about the Seven of Swords. Can you tell us what this is about? Can you elaborate? Nine of Swords. And this was exactly the card that I was thinking about. Okay, so here's Judgment on the bottom. And there is a judgment call being made. There is a call to action because this these things that people are doing in the background. That's the card. So I won't show you it too much because it's a little crass. But it's the Nine of Swords. And it's almost like there's these people behind closed doors or on the other side of something, right? Who are behaving in a way that they think is funny, but it's about to snap back and cause them pain, right? Like they're gonna get their karma for that. And I don't wish that on anybody, but it's like when people choose to behave in this way, that they bring that on themselves. And so it's almost like because of the things that they're doing and the ways that they're misleading people, and they either think it's funny or they think that it's almost like they're just being sneaky for this. I don't know what they're getting out of it. We'll find. I don't know what they're getting out of it, but it's causing a lot of anxiety in the exterior and in the workspace, and it feels like entrapment. It feels like a form of entrapment, like keeping you from being able to go anywhere or progress or move forward or get your project moving forward. Tell us about this Eight of Pentacles, please. So your workspace, our workspace, Eight of Cups. So you love your work. You love what you're doing. You're really good at it. Okay, it's like you're getting messages from people. Seven of Cups, and you're confused about this. If I'm getting all this progress and all this love for all this stuff that I'm doing, why am I not progressing? What is happening here? And it's because there's something going on in the background. And I think that you're going to get a message about this. Ace of Cups, right? There's like a sentimental message that's coming through to you, and it's because someone cares for you, about you, and about what you're doing, about your work. They want to help you, right? They want to open those spaces up, those options up. Seven of Cups versus Seven of Swords here. Like, rather than being limited to options because things are being taken from you or lies are being told, information is being misused. Right? Here comes like all of these options that are open and available to you that are actually there for you, and you didn't know that you had this. I heard slim pickings. You had the slim pickings, and somebody is going to send you a message that kind of opens up those possibilities for you and shows you this. And this is shocking. Tower. Can you tell us about the Tower, please? It's not just shocking to you, but it's shocking to them too. I heard they thought they were getting away with it. Now we got a Seven of Wands. That's all these sevens, right? Six of Cups. You're standing on higher ground and defending yourself. This could be actually from people that you've known for quite a long time. People that you've known since childhood, or maybe people that were like preying on your naivety in some way. But you have the higher ground. You're standing it's making you defensive. And you don't, remember, go back to the journey, go back to the communion, go back to the union, right? Of the self, and standing in your peace and going with the flow and not standing at a place of resistance, right? It's like their force of will actually lifts you up because of like the gravity of the situation of what they're doing, the weight of what it is that they're doing. It actually lifts you up. And their intention was to entrap you up in this tower, but what it's really doing is it's giving you the higher perspective and allowing people to see what's the real, what's really going on here. What's interesting is this is the Six of Cups and this is the Seven of Wands. Both of them have these seesaws. And both of them have this like weighted thing. And we talked about weight and balance in the last reading, didn't we? And how it doesn't exactly imply symmetry, but it's like the power of force, right? And there's this perception that this one person, this one force of nature, force of power, right, is got the leverage to keep all of these other things up in the air. And they're starting, who figures this kinds of things out? Well, cats are smart and clever and they're figuring things out. Here's this tower, starting to figure out like how the fulcrum actually works here. All right, Page of Wands. Page of Wands. It's exciting. Tell me about the Page of Wands. Three of Cups. Page of Swords, 2 pages, both about news, both about sharing information with the community, with people around you, right? 3 of Cups, again, with this teamwork, the community, the people who are with you, and they support you and love you and see you. And maybe they're also wishing for the change here, right? It's like here, they're sitting around a soup pot, having, you know, like what is sustaining us here, and the ability to see and grow together. There's exciting news about this. Be careful of like maybe somebody listening in who shouldn't be listening in. Again, messages coming through here today. Big deal. The messages coming through here today. So there will be communication, and it's going to change everything. Tell me about this Devil energy, please. What is this Devil energy about? 3 of Wands. Wow, wow, wow. 3 3s. All these 3s. 5 of Wands. About competition. About superseding the competition. About making you wait and like, oh yeah, just like, it'll come. Don't worry. Oh yeah, we're on it. We're going to change. We're going to fix it. The money, the check is in the mail. No. And then you're waiting and waiting and waiting. No. They want to keep you in that waiting space, right? Because it depletes your energy. Now, what are you waiting on? You're waiting on results. You're waiting on like her rectification. So take that how it resonates. Again, this is Empress energy. This is talking about your abundance. It's all connected to the Empress. And they're all sliding down the hill on their sleds, but she's got hers and she's carrying it. She's not going to be taken for a ride anymore. Wow, damn. Because it's just about to keep everybody in a state of fighting. It's just to keep everybody in a state of competition. Remember to keep the competition at bay. What is this 3 of Pentacles? What is this 3 of Pentacles? There's 2, wow, strength. And the 6 of Wands. And again, the 6 of Cups, changing that fulcrum. And I don't think that you're the only person who has been experiencing this in this environment, but it could be you who is able to shine the light on it and see, right? Because the success is here. Success, glory, and this is like fame, like almost like you become known for this and they become notorious for this, right? Like it's shown whose work was actually the work. 2 2 2 2, and the teamwork, right? Like they didn't do all this on their own. Everybody helped. Everybody was a part of this. Thank you so much for shining the light on this, because we have a lot more work to do and we couldn't get anything done with this going on. Right? Could be, take it how it resonates. It could be a project, could be family, could be work, could be a community, could be a friend group. You know, it feels like whatever it is, it's quite long standing. And then the Knight of Pentacles underneath that, like moving very slowly. I heard with grace, like getting through this. Don't worry, it all comes out in the wash. This Devil energy will not have the power over any of this anymore. And it's like you're just waiting. Maybe you're waiting to hear news, or you're waiting to see. It's like you're waiting to see when this news comes through. So where this is at in the reading, the news is coming through now. The Tower is now, and this is what the results are. Good for you, bad for the devil. And it's because you took the time to have that, you know, cutting away illusions, standing apart even from like-minded others, standing apart even from like-minded others, right? And this is interesting too, because she's looking out into the horizon, right? And these 2 are looking at her. So it's almost like the community around you is watching you balance this and do this magic. And they're celebrating you for it. And it's like not like the devil energy wanted there to be a conflict. But surprise, surprise, there is no conflict. They're just being dealt with in a proper way. And you are getting your comeuppance, and the everything is successful. And everybody can see it, and everybody knows it. Whatever it was they were hiding, crap they were doing over here, it fully comes to the light. Everybody can see it. I heard humiliated. Well, sometimes that we need that. It's like the things that they are trying to avoid. So they're trying to avoid humiliation by doing all this silly back stuff in the background, right? And trying to separate everybody from the true. But then when everybody gets together who actually, with loving care, who cares about the project, the work, the thing that's going on, the future results, right? The team. And like everybody, when that comes to light, this devil energy doesn't have any grounds anymore. It's like rejecting a bad contract. Totally. And this Queen of Wands energy, again, doesn't matter if you're male or female, but it's feeling very much like on that like lioness, feminine energy, right? Tigress. There's a tiger. It's like the lion and the tiger. Can you bear it? All right, this is the soul truth. This is what am I grateful for right now? Adopt an abundance mindset. Gratitude is the antidote to all our problems. It's impossible to be fearful and grateful at the same time. Gratitude improves our health, opens our heart, and changes our state. Today's soul action. The universal law of attraction. Wow, so we were talking about resistance and being this attractive force. And here we go. Here's the universe dropping some wisdom on us. Thank you, universe. The universal law of attraction says that we attract what we attract. The universal law of attraction says that we attract into our lives that on which we are focused. Close your eyes. Put your hand on your heart and think of 3 things for which you are grateful today. Notice the abundance growing within you. I'm grateful for peace. I'm grateful for light. I'm grateful for you. Thank you, guys. And then we got the starlight cards. I think that's part of this too, going with the flow, staying in your body, knowing your body, addressing your own knowing, all of those things. And that's where the confidence comes from, and having the gratitude, that trust that your light cannot be dimmed. Just like right on the bottom. Absolutely. There's a lot of love here amongst you and others in the community, and whatever was happening in the background. It's all is well. Don't worry. Breakthrough. For a star to be born, it must first collapse. This is not your destruction. This is your birth. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You want another one? They're cool, aren't they? All right, one more. Limitless. It says, know know your worth. Limitless. Eclipse. Celebrate cycles. And again, the ebb and flow. Tuning into the lunar side of the nature, okay? Everything in its own time. Everything in its own time. You got that like waiting energy here for your ships to come in. They're on their way. Don't you worry. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you got something out of it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Thank you for hitting like and subscribe if this resonated with you, and let me know how it did resonate if it did. And thanks for coming back, and seeing us again next time. Bye.
Transformation in 3, 2, 1.